Hey, good morning, everybody. I am here in Waukesha, one of my favorite places in the whole world, actually, up on top of Hobbit Hill. Some of you might remember it. I filmed a little bit here before I left for the AT, and when I got back. And it's a place that my kids and I used to come up to a lot when they were real small. I like it. So I figured this would be the good spot. Come up here and do a little wrap-up video, answer some questions, and I don't know, just give last little thoughts on this beautiful Ice Age trail. And funny thing is, the real name of this park is not Hobbit Hill, obviously. It's Glacier Cone. I understand that a whole lot more now after walking all that way. And it is one of the beautiful spots. So I'm gonna sit down over here. When I got done hiking the trail, kind of hung out for a day or two up in Potawatomi and bounced down to Eagle area, kind of hiked around a little bit and camped and just kind of collected my thoughts. Went up north then too, up north of Anago for a few days. Just kind of pulled myself together. What am I gonna do next? I guess I had to make a few decisions, and wouldn't you know it, I was at the right place at the right time and got a message from a friend, and we'll get to that in a little bit. The Ice Age National Scenic Trail is an amazing 1,200-mile journey through Wisconsin with all kinds of sceneries. There's beaches on a lake so big it's like an ocean. There's a million little beaver ponds, beautiful prairies, and rocks, so many rocks. This trail was really challenging in kind of its own way. Every trail is a little bit different, and this one definitely had its challenges. The road walks, I think, is one. Most trails have some sort of road walk in them, I think. And this trail in particular, as it's not completed, it has a lot, hundreds of miles, 400 or 500 miles probably of road. And that is that's a pretty tough challenge to overcome. That's a mental game, playing out each step that you take. When you're walking along, it's beautiful farms and horses and cows, all sorts of stuff. So it's never really boring, but it's definitely a challenge. And I think that's probably one of the things that keeps a lot of other people from hiking it or from through hiking it. With that, one of the other things that I think keeps people from choosing it in the end, because you have to do quite a bit of stealth camping along the way. And I guess you can, walk 5 miles over to a county park and then another 5 miles back, and in a lot of places, there is some parks and there is some things out there in some of these stretches, but that takes a 15-mile day and turns it into a 20-mile day, and then it tacks 5 more miles on to the next day. So it's like you can't really keep doing that and make the progress that you want. So you kind of just learn to stealth along the way, and if you're responsible about it, I think always stay off of private property and sneak in those parks once in a while. You gotta do it. And in at night, sleep tight, and out before dawn, and that all works out pretty good. But that's one of the unique challenges to the Ice Age Trail, I think, that you have to be comfortable doing that, and I kind of found that to be fun, and so it was challenge overcome. The overall trail, there's so many beautiful sights. There's so many amazing people and little towns. It's an experience that is unique and absolutely amazing. I love it. Thank you, Ice Age Trail. Thank you. And everybody that is living along there in those communities, or the people that are out there hiking or taking care of the trails, thank you all. It's an amazing experience that I would recommend. And I'm very proud to have completed it from one end to the other. I think in my last video, I did a pretty good job just kind of saying how I felt about things on this trail, and so I think I'm just gonna let that stand. There's not much I can add. Sorry, I was a little choked up, but it was, boy, that was just straight from the heart there. So, but I'm pretty pleased with it. I figure with this video, I'm gonna try and keep it fairly quick, but I'm gonna get through the questions that people ask, do my best to answer them. All right, so let's start at the beginning. Eli asks, what made you consider through hiking the Ice Age Trail? Well, pretty simple. Where I'm at right now in Waukesha, Wisconsin, I do not live here anymore, but I raised up my family here and had so many years that I lived here that I was always out camping and hiking, and the Ice Age Trail runs nearby here. And so I kind of knew it as just a little tiny piece of a trail, just like so many people that I met hiking out here. They know of it, but they just think it's a little trail or a little park or something, and they don't realize the full extent of it. That was the same with me. Also, this question kind of ties in with the question that Slayer asked about my time in Waukesha and when I lived there and stuff, because he said I look familiar. And I lived here for like 20 years. About 2 years ago, I left, actually. I sold everything and quit my job and went to hike the Appalachian Trail. And I haven't lived here since, but it's one of my favorite spots. I like coming here. So Slayer, I guess I've been here for the last 20 years or so. I look familiar because you probably have seen me. So. After hiking the Appalachian Trail, I just found it so rewarding, and I just decided, like, I just want to keep doing this. This is what I really love doing. This is me being mighty, you know. I knew the Ice Age Trail then was 1,200 miles. I started looking into it over the winter, and yeah, I just had to hike it. And so I did. Some of my videos, I think I had said that I was a teacher before, and I was actually here for 16 years in Waukesha. I was asked by Geezer on the Go. He said, ask what subjects I taught, and I would say all the stuff that you don't remember learning. So I was a preschool teacher, and so taught a lot of kids how to read and just kind of the basic things, I guess, and had a blast doing it. I ended up quitting there just before I went to the AT because I just didn't make any money. I could, just enough to survive, and it was really rewarding work. I loved it, but there were other things that I wanted to do, and I wasn't going to get there without a little bit of money. So I went to making books. I made about twice as much money making books as I did teaching kids how to read, but I did that for a year or two, and then quit and got rid of everything and hiked. So that, I guess that was my subject, preschool. So Bridget asks, or her and her family, I had the pleasure of meeting her up in Rice Lake, I think it was, and hey everybody, hello Bridget and family. She's asked a couple of questions, like how long I've been hiking and my longest hike, why I started hiking trails. And I guess that kind of all wraps up. When I was a little boy, I was in Pennsylvania, southern Pennsylvania at the time, and used to go up into the mountains with my grandfather, and he showed it to me one time, and this Appalachian Trail, he showed me this blaze in the woods, and went both ways, and I was like 7 or something, and boy, that just started a fire in there in my imagination, and I thought, wow, to be able to just walk that way. And so that was when I was young. I was kind of introduced to the long trails, and then pretty much all my life I've been camping and just always outdoors as long as I can be every day. And I guess I just always found hiking that it just made me real happy, and I just love that feeling and the adventure of stuff, to see new things, what's over that hill, just that basic curiosity I got in me bad. And so that's kind of what got me into hiking. And then being introduced to the Appalachian Trail at a young age, boy, I spent my life thinking about that. And then I made a few choices to go and do it a couple of years back, and I did. I hiked the Appalachian Trail in 2021, and man, I'm never been happier and just love life so much. Sum it up, the Appalachian Trail is the longest trail that I've thru-hiked. So I've hiked in about every state. There's about 4 or 5 states that I haven't been to hiking, I guess, camping and stuff. I just love hiking. And once I started through hiking, starting at one end and going to the other, putting it all together, that's just what I found best. I just like that, like the whole pie, you know? So, I guess a couple of people have asked what have been, let's see, we got Jen and Bridget. Another question too is like which parts have been my favorite segments along the Ice Age Trail and maybe the worst. And I think my absolute favorite on the Ice Age Trail was the John Muir Park, right in the middle of road walks and everything. And it was just a tiny little place, but having read John Muir and when I was young and really been inspired by him in my life, it was amazing to go there and to see his boyhood home. And it just that was hands down, that was my favorite part. As far as the hiking goes, there wasn't, it was, you know, a little drumlin or two that you kind of go over in a pond. But I think the hiking, some of it here in the Scuppernong and the Kettle Moraine is amazing. Up in the northern parts there, the Harrison Hills and that, fantastic. That's so much fun. It's rough and it's hilly, but it isn't too bad. It doesn't tear you up like the rocks in New Hampshire and stuff. Sorry, Snacks. But I think those are some of the spots that I like. But really, like, every section kind of has its own flavor and its own charm. It's like going into a bakery and you see like 100 different cookies. It's kind of like you get to eat all of them if you just hike it all through. I think I'm hungry actually, because I keep thinking like that. But the worst of the moments I had weren't really all that bad. I don't think I didn't really get hurt too bad. In the beginning, it was more on me than on the trail. But all of those north swampy woods and stuff, and the sogginess, just wet feet every day, on top of the bad shoes. They're not bad shoes, I guess, but bad for my feet. It just tore them up, my feet, like none other, you know, like I had blisters in blisters that were in blisters, 3 blisters deep, bruises, and then just, oh my gosh, all the skin on the top of my toes was rubbed off. And it was just, man, those were some of the worst parts, you know, just, and then at night when you could dry your feet, just poking them out, it was like below freezing, and so you couldn't. But as far as that, it wasn't really any bad parts of the trail. There were certainly some of the moments. And I think there was one night, it was after the Straight Lake, that one way up north, and man, I only made about 3 miles that day because my feet hurt so bad and everything was kind of damp and cold. And I walked out of there. There was rain coming in. It was 35 degrees. I just said no more, and I just set up a tent. I think I filmed a little bit in the tent, but the next day I got up and I hiked on, and man, the sun started shining. And you just gotta, every day if you keep going, but you can get there. But that was probably the worst moment I had, and it wasn't really all that bad. So just sort of a collective misery and pain sometimes gets the better of you. All right, so that kind of actually ties into a question from Eileen. How are my feet feeling now that I'm done? They feel pretty good. When I hike, and I'm not talking about the beginning, but when I hike every day, just walking on the stones, mile after mile, and your feet always hurt at the end of the day. But that's kind of, there's like a normal amount of hurt. And by morning, it's gone, and you hike heavily on. And so that's just kind of that's just the nature of what I do when I'm hiking, I guess. So as soon as you go a day or so without, your feet kind of, they just relish in the softness of step, I think. So my feet are really doing well. So Eileen also asked how the elevation changes and miles hiked each day compared to the AT. And I can speak for myself. I can say that the AT, the Appalachian Trail, is, I think, physically the hardest trail that there is. There's just so much up and down. The Ice Age Trail isn't physically all that hard. It's definitely challenging, but there's no mountains here. There's no deserts. See, there's the roads, I think, sometimes force you to do big days, and they're road miles, so they're you can kind of dig deep and do them, but it isn't physically as challenging. It is not flat. People will look at an elevation change map or something and think it's flat. Oh no, it is not. All of the glacial ups and downs are there, and so you're constantly kind of going up and down. There's a lot of prairies and stuff that'll have nice slopes, or I mean, there are some flat road walks, I guess, too, but so you're always kind of working, but there isn't the extremes like the mountains. So in the end, I think my miles per day, I think averaged out probably about the same, in that maybe 12 miles a day or something like that, if you add in all of the zeros and everything else. But I go slow on purpose so I can film, and so I can just enjoy where I'm at when I'm there. And my goal isn't to do things fast. It isn't to do things slow. It's just that unhurried forward progress. And that's what I like to do. All right, so the next question is from the Greendale Brayers, sorry. And Lily Leapslogs. First of all, I gotta say, Lily, thank you. Your comment, it was really inspiring to me, and so happy hiking to you, Lily Leapslogs, and family. So then they asked, I'd mentioned about my writings, and they asked if I share any of my writings, and no, I don't. I like to write. I don't really keep a journal, like the day-to-day stuff. I just write creatively, but no, I never really published anything, or it's not really any place that I've shared it. I might, but I've actually found that doing these videos and filming during my hikes has kind of taken over in my creative juices. Like, more of them are flowing into this, and I still write, always will, I'm sure, but no, I don't really share them. So there was another one here. Now this is from Nick Zales. Nick, he was asking, I guess, if I had considered making this into like a movie, like an hour or something movie of the Ice Age Trail. And I've considered it, and I'd like to do it. I just don't have, I'm not able to do that. All of my filming and all of my editing and everything that I do is all on my phone. I don't have a computer or anything to store extra stuff, and so pretty much at the end of each day, I'll put together a video and then have to delete most everything that went into it. And kind of came to terms with that on the Appalachian Trail. Simply put, my phone just will run out of space, and then I'm not able to do anything with it. But I kind of reckoned with it, and that's what I do, and that's kind of one of the motivations to make them as just the best that I can, because that's what's there. It's on the internet, it's on YouTube now, so it'll always be there. So you kind of have to I just learned to let go of all of the photos and everything else, and I do keep a few, but if I was to save that footage, I think I would have a lot of fun, maybe over the winter, putting together a movie of some sort, but haven't been able to do that yet. Hope to get some better gear and kind of do some things that I'm able to hold on to all this stuff, and eventually like maybe get a computer or something. But so yes, I have considered it, but I'm just not able to do it yet. So Elizabeth asked, I think it was in my Camino de Sage video. She asked if I have ever hiked the Camino. I think there's a couple of them, but they're in like northern Spain and in France. But no, I have not. I lived over there in southern Germany for quite a while, so I've hiked in those areas before, but no, I never really did a through hike of those. It's kind of on my list, but there's just so many trails, and I just don't know that I can hike them all, but that one's definitely on my list, though. That would be fun. I think my legs are long and my wallet is very small, and that would be one. I think a fatter wallet would probably make nicer. So I'll save that one for later. Well, Mountain, I guess, had asked like a two-part question. He asked, where would you like to hike next, and how my gear held up. And that is that's a good question. A lot of people asked, actually, a lot of folks ask what's next, what's the next hike, and when I got done, I really wasn't sure. I just knew there was a little bit more hike in me. I checked my funds, there's just a wee little bit left, and I had an opportunity at the right place and the right time to get something cooking. And So I'm not gonna say what's next just yet. And I'm not gonna say how my gear held up because I got a little more hiking in me. I got it cooking right now, so I'm not gonna say anything more on that. But Mountain and everybody that have asked, stay tuned. It's sort of a work in progress and I don't know the details. A week from now, I'm pretty sure I'll be getting on a Greyhound and I'll be heading to the next one. For now, maybe I'll just give you this. I've really enjoyed making these videos, and I've really enjoyed the response that I've gotten from everybody. So I'm just gonna keep doing this. When I started it for the AT, like I said so many times, it was just kind of for myself, and in sharing it, it's grown, and my passion for making these has as well. So I look forward to sharing yet one more wild hike. If you enjoy watching these videos, leave a comment and like them and subscribe. This channel is growing slowly, and I think that is wonderful. Let's just see what can happen, I guess. Till then, happy hiking, everybody. I think I'm gonna just chill up here on top of this hill for a little while. Look at this beautiful day dawning. Man. All right, see y'all later.